Hello, welcome. It's me, Danyell Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer. Let's talk about 2024 and how it looks through the lens of astrology. So I'm going to put up the dates. I wrote them all down. You can see them all now. You should be looking at them. And you can screenshot this or save it. Whatever you want to do, look them over. To some of you guys who are new to astrology, this may not make any sense, but I will go over the ingresses, and the ingresses are when a planet changes a zodiac sign. I'm trying to say it in simple terms for people who don't know astrology, but it's when a planet changes a zodiac sign. And we have two ingresses. We have Pluto that is going into Aquarius, and we felt that energy a little bit in 2023. In 2023, yes. And Jupiter is going to enter Gemini. Jupiter changes a sign every year, so it stays in one sign every year. So we have those two ingresses. I'm going to go over the retrogrades. I'm also going to go over the eclipse and the eclipses. And I'm also going to talk about the big aspects that are going to happen in 2023. However, I wanted you to have a snapshot of the ingresses of the calendar for the year 2024. Okay, so in my theory, if you are a Capricorn, Aquarius, or Libra, you pretty much are going to have, or some strong placements with that, then you're going to have a great year in 2024. Now, also, if you set the intentions to have a great year this year and not live in fear and not think in lack and live out of love, then you too will also have a great year. Okay, so let's start with the ingresses. Now, the ingresses, January 20th, which is at the very beginning of 2024, Pluto is in the sign, going to go into the sign Aquarius. And on the 20th as well, at 5:46 a.m., there's going to be a Cazimi. Pluto will be in a Cazimi, and a Cazimi is when Pluto is in the heart of the sun, and also it's conjunct, meaning that they are very close together and so much together that they're in the same degree. I will go over also too, I want you to understand, I'm going to go over each ingress, each eclipse, each aspect weekly, and I also would do the horoscopes with that weekly. This is just an overview of the year for you. Okay, so also I want to say, if you sign up for my newsletter, you get this in writing. So you have it in writing. You don't have to do any work. It comes in your email. Also, that helps me keep the people who want to stay in touch with me. I don't want to say followers because that seems a little weird. I'm not Jesus or God. So, but it will also help us keep in contact because, YouTube can cancel me any day. But they can't cancel my emails because I physically have a copy. Anyway, okay, so back to Pluto in Aquarius. So it's going to be in Cazimi on January 20th. That means that the sun is going to make Pluto energy very bright and very strong. And Pluto takes a long time to move around each zodiac, usually around 14 to 30 years. And its effects is more a generational effect. But Pluto entering Aquarius officially in January, and then it will stay in Aquarius June 30th. Okay? Until June 30th, 2044. Okay? Pluto in Aquarius is in its fall. A planet's fall is a sign of the zodiac in which it's thought to be particularly poorly placed. It doesn't like being in Aquarius, okay? And Pluto is the last planet in the edge of the solar system. It's also the slowest. So what I said earlier, it's more generational, and other generational planets are Uranus and Neptune. It represents the unconscious urge to transform repressed ego desire energies into group desired energies to live out our role in society and evolution. Pluto represents our sexuality, the act itself, not pursuing it because that's more Mars. It also represents power, ingredients of great wealth. So like investments, banking, loans, debt, and our mortgages, our obsessions, our desires. What else is Pluto? Pluto is associated with recklessness, mental obsession, compulsion, emotional resistance, overall transcendence. Is related to mysteries and secrets and taboos. I also did a video on everything Scorpio, and that discussed more Pluto. So you can go ahead and check that out. But this is an area of life that is associated with upheaval, change, power struggles, and issues of control. And it helps us find a deeper meaning of things and examining things, transformation, anything in a dark shadow. Yeah, so get ready for upheavals in the sign of Aquarius, which I'll talk about Aquarius in a minute. But I just wanted to talk about what the planet it means itself. Severe and permanent changes in civilization as a whole will be linked is linked to Pluto, okay? You may experience dramatic crisis or have endured terrible suffering, because where Pluto is in your chart says a lot about how you are in your natal chart. Okay, so but some keywords for Pluto: abduction, vanishing, kidnapping, ambushes, betrayal, reptiles, magic, black magic, antichrist, hell, Satan, brothel, sex organs, convicts, felons, misdemeanors, bootleggers, corruption, cemetery, suicides, homicides, death, the light after death, rebirth, turning points, subconscious mind, untruths, dictators, psychology, mystery, anything taboo, anything that's hidden. Yes. Okay. Now, and it is the god of the underworld as well. Okay, so now let's talk about the sign Aquarius. Okay, so that's the planet, and that's what it holds. And every time that planet is in a sign, it takes onto that energy. And so we're going to see, Pluto represents transformation. We're going to see transformation done in an Aquarius way. Pluto represents magic, black magic. You'll see it done in an Aquarius way. Pluto represents life after death and rebirth. Those things are going to happen in an Aquarius way. So everything that I discussed, even the misdemeanors and the felons, all that's going to take place in an Aquarius way around in 2024. Okay. So Aquarius is the 11th sign. It is a fixed sign, and it is an air sign. It is the final air sign, which means a lot. Okay, that means it is, like, I would say, the most intellectual of all the signs. The air sign deals with processing ideas, knowledge, and their communication. Because it's the last sign, it embodies the final phases of dealing with ideas. Love and intellectual stimulation. It loves intellectual stimulation. It's the collective and mind sharing with people. It's a fixed sign, meaning that it's slow and steady and unwavering and determined to stay true to the end, strong and dependable. Indeed, the trailblazers of the whole zodiac. Okay. Now it's also unconventional. It's very rebellious. It's innovative, very iconic. It's also humanitarian energy, very philanthropic, keenly interested in making the world a better place, focused on social institutions and how they work and how they don't work. Anything with Aquarius is very collaborative, kind of group think, organizations, and new ideas, processing and inventive, original, freedom-loving, individualism. Even though it's for the collective, it still is unique as an individual. Deep thinking and traveling is huge with air energy. It's also it's compassionate, meeting high intellect. Okay, visionary energy. Also is very emotionally detached. Now it has the water barrier. The water bearer is the symbol for Aquarius, and it has the water. So a lot of people think that it's somewhat of a water sign, but it's not. It is an air sign, but it is holding the water. So it's not the water sign. It's just holding the water, and the water is representing spirituality, spiritual knowledge, and it's pouring it out to humanity. It's sharing it with the world. So giving compassion to the world. That's where the whole humanity comes with Aquarius. Now, Aquarius energy, negative part of Aquarius is that it's disconnected. It's not confronting. It's rebellious. It's anarchist. No government energy. Anti-alienated, bizarre, unstable, belligerent, hostile, aggressive. It's psychopathic, chronic mental disorders, cruel, cold, sociopath, aloof, impersonal, unsympathetic, fanatic, oppressed with the single-minded ideas, inflexible, immovable, cynical, distrustful, disbelieving, skeptical, disparaging, erratic, over-talkative, anxious, ungrounded, inefficient, indecisive, non-committal, impractical, unfocused, avoiding peace at any price, and bewildered and confused. Okay, that's the negative side. Every sign has a yin and a yang. Every sign has a positive, negative. Every sign has a dark and a light. Okay, keywords for Aquarius, even though I just read the negatives, the keywords are acquaintances, positive organizations, friend, socialism. So we'll get a lot of that energy. Get ready for that. Visions, automobiles, aviators, astronauts, air conditioning, electronics. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I want you to see these things coming to light with Pluto in Aquarius. But I'm going to get what Pluto in Aquarius means after I explain Aquarius itself. Okay, telephones, airplanes, airports, scientists, radios, clubs, club members, clubhouse, ankles, sensitive skin, blood disorder, heart weaknesses, calves of the legs, circulation of blood, astrology, astrologers, counselors, lakes, new teachings, psychology, occupation, occultism, spirituality, spiritual occurrences, Senate, senators, House of Representatives, and Congress. It represents a lot more, but I thought those were really important to say so you can see what Pluto in Aquarius really gets into. And areas affecting that are representing by Aquarius, we'll see them having a huge change during Pluto in Aquarius. I will put that up now. Now, let's talk about what Pluto in Aquarius means when we put it together. First of all, we had a taste of it, okay? Because Pluto touched it a little bit and then it retrogrades. And no planet officially goes into one sign just like that. It has to ease into it so we can we dibble and dab into the energy, and then we end up feeling it fully. So Pluto will expose the shadow side of Aquarius because Pluto is about the darkness, okay? Aquarius and Pluto both are about regeneration. So we'll see a breakdown of outdated systems and structure of power and anything that's unjust and doesn't serve the collective. We are going to see the rise of AI. I also did a podcast on this and it gets way more detailed, by the way. So go ahead and check the podcast. I also talked about how Alex Jones talked about humans turning into AIs. So we'll see how that goes. Transformation as a whole for technology, because remember I just said all those things that Aquarius represents, and you're talking about space, and you're talking about aircrafts, and you're talking about airplane and travel. Get ready for that. And you are talking about air, space travel, huge. Okay. Data, science, the system of power, huge. Political triggers may hit more than usual. I'm seeing gun reform, LGBT rights, climate change, and really big with LBGT because Pluto, Aquarius energy is very out of the box, especially when it comes to love. So you're going to see that transformation, right? Society and friends and humanitarian issues. You may see a shift in government because remember Aquarius keywords were Senate, senators, House of Representatives, and Congress. And transformation in freedom and independence, that's going to look different. Also too, Pluto and Aquarius, a transformation as humanity as a whole, because Aquarius cares about humanity as a whole. Pluto is one of the most intense and forbidding planets in astrology, acting representation of death and destruction in the underworld. So we're going to see a lot of death. We're going to see a lot of that clearing away when it comes to things that no longer serve us in the Aquarius arena. So whatever is dealing with humanitarian rights that's no longer serving us, that's going to go away. Whatever is serving us in the science that's not working, that's going to go away. Okay. Also rebellion and establishing rules for the norms in society. Get ready for a lot of rebellion, technology transformation, scientific breakthroughs, social and humanitarian issues. Huge, huge, huge. I see a lot of protests to the point that it would be normal for us. Okay. Collective consciousness. There may be a focus on the collective consciousness and global awareness issues on unity. And if you know about WEF, Pluto and Aquarius is bringing that to the light, okay? Political and social revolutions, challenging, I would think that technology risk, because we are making some advancements, we might be misusing technology and invasion of privacy and ethical concerns, social unrest, power struggles in groups. Pluto represents power. Aquarius represents groups. So get ready for that. Or get ready for groups breaking up. So like a group will be the Democrats, right? Breaking up, Republicans breaking up, maybe them even coming together. Like there are, it's like, which way do I go? There's no longer the Bloods and the Crips, okay? Resistance to change. Some individuals and institutions may resist the transformation energy of Pluto, which happens a lot. And so there's some leading tensions and conflicts between progressive and conservative forces. Revolutionary energy. Aquarius is known for any revolution, okay? Pluto Kazemi is the sign that could intensify this revolutionary energy. January 20th, mark my words, it's going to be huge, okay? Deep insights into humanitarian issues. I discussed this already. Go ahead and check the podcast. And I will also do horoscopes when it comes to after January. When it comes 2024, when I do January's horoscopes, I will be discussing Pluto with you personally. So let's get into Jupiter entering Gemini. Now this happens May 25th, 2024. And also when it happens, Jupiter is going to square Saturn 2 times in 2024. So square is not the best. It's limiting and challenging. And it's going to happen on August 19th. And then later on Christmas Eve, December 24th. And we'll get into that when I discuss aspects. But I just want you to know that's the big thing with Jupiter. And besides that, it's going into Gemini. So Jupiter itself, the planet, it's very big. It's a positive planet. It's about optimism, growth, generosity, joy, and abundance. It's the first big planet closest to us, and it's very social. And life seems to flow very easy when you have Jupiter transits, and it's about growth. It makes things bigger, and it's very excessive. Everything it touches, it makes bigger. It puts things in a spotlight. It expands our mind. It brings new opportunities, insights, and deeper awareness. What else? Very social. Oh, Jupiter wants to be the glue that holds everyone in. So you have law because it wants to talk about what are the social unwritten laws and laws that we have to make the world work together. It's also considered a lucky planet. And when it expands things, it also expands the negative. So when you have it in a sign, it's going to expand the good aspects of Gemini, and the bad aspects of Gemini. Rules and laws and legal systems, persons in power and government officials, and any problems with the law. So keywords for Jupiter are abundance, affluence, awards, the Holy Bible, because it's also dealing with religion, because it's dealing with higher philosophies, okay? Countries, foreign, it's dealing with travel because it's dealing with the world. It doesn't want to have any limitations and wants its freedom. By the way, Jupiter wants its freedom. Religion, finance, affairs, honesty, hope, growth, luck, senators as well. So we have a double energy with this. Wisdom, valuable things, universities, higher learning, wealth, wheat, courtroom, and wages. Now let's talk about Gemini. Gemini, I did a video on everything Gemini. I did a video on everything Gemini, so go ahead and check that out. But Gemini is an air sign. It's mutable, so it is all over the place, okay? And it's going to be in a sign of Jupiter. So that means we will be all over the place. Get ready for that. Gemini is known as communication. It loves communication. So you have Pluto in air, and then you have Gemini in air. Communication is going to be really huge in 2024. All forms of communication, emails, texts, phone, social media, people who are skilled with words, people who are clever with words, people who are on media and the news, who's ever talking and communicating. Huge, okay? A negotiator, someone who's a writer, an author, trivia, word games, gossip, eavesdropping, anything with communication, good and bad. Okay, you get the point. Gemini energy is also very quick in thought and action. It likes to move fast. It loves knowledge. It's very social. It's a people manager, has a gift of persuasion because we have that communication. Very skillful in handling others. Constant drive to be connected and lively. Youthful energy is what you get with Gemini. So a lot of youth. People who actually have Gemini placements actually look younger. Yes. Okay. Observant, thirst for knowledge, curious about everything, teacher, early education, perpetual student of life, learning skills. A lot of learning especially with Jupiter in Gemini. And also too, I want to say that Jupiter is the opposite of Gemini. Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius. Gemini is the opposite. So Gemini likes the little small details, where Jupiter is like, let's expand it all. Let's have the bigger picture. And now it's in that sign. But still, we have a big element, because they're polarity energy. We have the big element of learning and higher learning. So we have the planet that is about higher learning and learning all the small details. Also, Gemini is very surface level because it wants to learn everything. It really can't hone into the small details. We'll get into that. Mental flexibility, flexible, versatile, adaptable, needs constant change, needs variety, dislikes routine, values freedom, loves to explore, inconsistent, many-sided, duality, multitasker. Gemini wants to play all parts. And if you're doing, Kanye is major Gemini energy. You know, like, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. That is the perfect example of Gemini. But I discussed that already. Okay, practical jokes is also in that past video of Gemini. Practical jokes is also a thing of Gemini. Deceitful, manipulative, cunning, mischievous, nervy. It is a little bit annoying with the practical jokes. I have a cousin who's a Gemini. She used to play jokes on me all the time. It annoyed me to death. So get ready for that energy in 2024. So I was think like, the TikTok prankster, those things, all that's going to come back to light. Okay. Keywords for Gemini. Calculating, superficial, tense, nervy, mischievous, cunning, siblings, communication, neighborhood also. Your community, very Gemini, because remember, Jupiter is the world and Gemini is the smaller version of Jupiter. So it's like, what's in the community and our siblings? What else? Early education, where Jupiter is higher education, daily rituals, extended family, transportation. Huge, okay, because the ruler is Mercury. And environment. So let's talk about when Jupiter is in a sign Gemini. Now, it's in detriment, which I said earlier. And detriment refers to a condition in which the planet is considered to be least favorable. It's very weakened in this position. When a planet is in the opposite sign to its domicile, it is said to be in its detriment. And domicile is because I said it was Sagittarius. I explained this earlier. I'm just rereading my notes. So when you have that, Jupiter doesn't act as strong. Gemini will act a little bit stronger. Okay, human values, common sense is when we have Jupiter and Gemini. Praises, skeptical attitudes, constantly questioning and doubting things, interested in philosophy. You're a cynic, gets involved in other people's affairs. This is what we're going to have in 2024. Nosy people, imposing as the judge in other people's affairs. I would think paparazzi will be worse than ever during this. We're going to be all in, all those celebrities in everyone's affairs. Maybe people who are not even celebrities, just regular people and their TikTok lives. We will probably be in there. We're less attached to our values, impartial and open-minded, able to see many sides of any arguments. And I see this also really being big with like Democrats and Republicans, or those political parties, because now it's like, I agree with both sides. None of this red and blue energy. So this would be interesting. A lot of gossip, maybe too much information, too many ideas. So we won't be able to have a plan going forward. Lack of follow through. Communication and contact is going to be very highly valued. Put others at ease with being very friendly and being very curious. And a lot of versatility and adaptability and socialness. Okay. Get rid of that. Let me see. Intellectual expansion, effective communication, versatility and adaptability. Social interaction and networking, huge with this, because we also have that Aquarius energy in Pluto, and now we have Jupiter and Gemini, because it's very social, and networking is going to be big. Okay, very optimistic and positive. Jupiter is very optimistic, and Gemini, the optimism may be expressed through being open-minded and communicating some new ideas and concepts and new ways of thinking. Increased travel. I cannot express that enough. There will be increased travel, okay? Jupiter is associated with travel. Gemini is associated with travel, and it wants to explore. So a lot of travel plans, whether short or long journeys, get ready for that. If you want to put some stocks in traveling, I would suggest doing that. And I did the numerology. That's another thing I forgot to say. Check out the other videos that I did 2024. I did the tarot of 2024, and I did numerology. It's all connected. superficially, and we're going to be superficial and lack deepness, because we're only going to be focused on trying to learn everything and being involved in everything and not really getting very, honed in on things. So try to tap into that Virgo energy. Okay. Overemphasis on communication, less action, information overload, lack of commitment, because Gemini wants the freedom and it wants to be adaptable and it wants variety. It doesn't have time to commit. Exaggeration and overstatement. Communication challenges. Now, I'm going to do the horoscopes of this when we get closer to this energy, so don't worry. Fast track. I looked up in history when this happened, when we were in Jupiter and Gemini over the past, and I just have a few things. We have a fast track land reform began in Zimbabwe, and fast because Gemini is very fast energy. We also had a Concorde crashes. We had a lot of flight crashes. When you have more travel, you have more crashes. Also, I want to say Neptune's in the sign of Pisces. Pisces represents endings and death. Okay. Saturn's in the sign of Pisces. That's a lot of death too. So just be aware of that. Not saying that you can't travel. I just want you to know that the numbers, when there's a plane crash, numbers will probably be bigger than ever. June 21st, and that's probably happened in 2000. There was a promotion of homosexuality. Now, because Gemini wants to have their hands in everything, it also wants to have its hands in everything far as sexuality. So today I'm a lesbian, today I'm straight, tomorrow I'm transgender. Transgender is more Scorpio energy, but you get the point. LBGBT, I don't mean to disrespect the letters. I'm just telling you, it wants all the letters. Okay. July 1st in 2000. We had Sweden and Denmark had a bridge and it was connected. So you were able to travel between the two, because it's all about traveling and getting to one community to another. Okay. Wikipedia was launched during Jupiter and Gemini. So that's trying to get information and Googling things. And the Netherlands became the first country to legalize the same-sex marriage. Again, wants to have its foot in everything. I'm not saying that it's wrong to have the same-sex marriages. Just the themes of lesbian, bisexual. Just know that those themes are going to come up. Okay, so now let's talk about sexuality. So now let's talk about eclipse. Okay, so we have 4 eclipse. Okay. Now the first, anytime we have an eclipse, you can expect the unexpected. It's a surprise, a plot twist. Okay. It's also an opportunity of releasing. Also, I'm told from my studies that an eclipse is brought to us because we need to be redirected in our path. Okay. March 25th, we have a Libra full moon lunar penumbral eclipse. Okay. And you're going to get from that balancing relationships, emotional harmony, decision making, aesthetic sensitivity, because Libra is very diplomatic, and a full moon may encourage some negotiations on a positive way in resolving some conflict. And eclipse energy, lunar eclipse are potent full moon, signaling a time of culmination, completion, and a potential for significant endings and transformation. They often bring a light of hidden emotions and aspects of ourselves and our relationships. This is in a small world and in a big world. So like individually to you and huge to the world. So last time we had this Libra eclipse, we had the Hamas and Israel conflict, just so you know. April 8th, we have a new moon solar eclipse total in Aries. I find that the solar eclipse is bigger, so we'll see how this energy happens. It's all about the self when you have Aries energy. So initiating new beginnings, because it's also the first and likes to start. Self-discovery and authenticity, courage and assertiveness, independence and individuality, energetic renewal, taking risks, because Aries energy is very courageous, and balancing self-interest versus the relationship. Get ready of that. Then we have the full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces, September 17th. This is the first eclipse in the sign Pisces, so it's the first set. So expect things related to Piscean energy. So imagination, mysticism, codependency, boundaries, sobriety, delusions, and addictions. All that's going to come to the surface. So emotionally sensitivity and intuition, spiritual insights and reflections, releasing and letting go, compassion and empathy. This is all Pisces, okay? Creative and imagination, boundaries and self-care. Pisces is compassionate, but it struggles with boundaries. There's fogginess, disillusion, aliens, okay, things out of this world, endings, healing and closure, connected to the collective consciousness, because Pisces is associated with collective and universal consciousness. Now, next we have the last full moon we have is in October 2nd, and this is a new moon solar eclipse in a sign Libra. Again, Libra themes, okay? Relationship dynamics, new beginnings in relationships, harmonious conflicts, aesthetic and creative pursuits, diplomatic and communication with diplomatic issues. We could have some legal matters that could be coming to the forefront anytime we have Libra energy, self-reflection and balance, and new social connections, okay? That is what we get for the eclipse. Again, I will go over them in detail. Now let's talk about the retrogrades happening in 2024. Mercury is going to retrograde April 1st to April 25th in the sign Aries, August 4th to August 28th in the sign Virgo, and November 25th to December 15th in the sign Leo. Mercury retrograding in Aries, it's a fire sign. It's associated with initiative and action and assertiveness. So when it's retrograding, we may have some impulsive communication, misunderstandings related to not wanting to wait, challenges in expressing thoughts clearly. Get ready for that, okay? Mercury retrograding in the sign Virgo. Now, last time we had Mercury in the sign Virgo, I found that was a lot of cancer, health issues happening. So be aware of that. A lot of rumors with health. So with this, we could have energy with, it's an earth sign, it's into detail, it's into analysis, it's into precision. So we could be over analyzing, being overly critical. Also air. Okay, Mercury is the ruler of Virgo, but there's a lot of air. Even though it's Earth, there's a lot of air, plane crashes with that too, travel issues with that too. Mercury retrograding in a sign Leo. Leo is a fire sign. It's a fixed sign. It's about creativity, self-expression, and drama. So when we have a retrograding, we can have challenges with expressing ourselves because it likes to express itself, especially in a creative way. Issues related to the ego and pride. So be ready for that. Revisiting creative projects and reassessing some self-expression. I am going to go over that more detail, but just be ready for those retrogrades happening in those signs. And the one that I actually don't like with Mercury retrogrades, period. I have a lot of Gemini placements, so it's just not fun for me. I also find that when Mercury retrogrades in each sign, the person who has that sign, sun sign, moon sign, they get affected more. So the Aries, the Virgos, and the Leos, okay? You will probably feel that more than anything. Now, Mars is going to retrograde in December 26th to February 23rd. It's going to retrograde in the sign Leo and then also push back into the sign Cancer. So both Mars stations retrograde in Leo December 6th. Mars scoots into Cancer and at the beginning of January 2025. Okay, so towards the end of the year, going more into 2025. However, this is a 2024 video, so I have to mention it. When you have this retrograde, Mars, to me, I say I don't want to put in fear, but just be alert when you have Mars retrograding, especially in the sign Leo. Leo likes to fight. It likes conflict. It's very brave. It's very courageous. So be aware of that inner passion and energy and leadership. You have a lot of royalty with that. And Mars is the planet of action, aggression, and vitality. So just be aware when it's retrograding in the sign Leo. Could be some creative frustrations as well, pursuing those things. Also, war with leaders. Okay, now also you have when it's in the sign Cancer. Wait, let me see that. Oh, creative and romance problems, tensions with leadership roles, risk of drama and conflict. That's what I'm thinking would be bigger with that Mars retrograding in the sign Leo. Delayed personal projects, tempering with the ego and assertiveness. Another issue. Reviewing courage and confidence. Now in Cancer, we're going to have some more feminine internal stuff, because Cancer is a feminine sign, water sign. It's about emotions, home, family, and security. So makes me think of Israel. I remember they had a placement up top with their moon, and the moon is representing legacy. So maybe Mars with war and anything dealing with a country that has to deal with their legacy could be a theme. Okay, Mars and family dynamics, assertiveness in relationships, domestic projects, renovations, self-reflection, emotional responses, nurturing self and others, reassessing personal boundaries, conflict avoidance, and healthy confrontations. All of the themes in Mars retrograding in the sign Cancer. Okay, Cancer and moms and women too. Maybe a lot of women being under attack, because Cancer is a feminine moon representing women. Okay, pregnancy also under attack too. So just be aware of that. Okay, so Jupiter is going to retrograde October 9th to February 4th in the sign Gemini. Saturn June 29th. November 15th in the sign Pisces. Uranus September 1st, January 30th in the sign Taurus. So, and soon at the beginning of the year. Neptune, July to December 7th in the sign Pisces. Pluto in the sign Capricorn, May 2nd to October 1st. But those are the retrogrades that we have. Of course, I will go over each one of them in more detail in another video. So let's talk about the aspects. So we talked about Pluto, January 20th. That's the first aspect. Pluto and Cazimi in the sign Capricorn. Intense transformation. But then it's going to go into Aquarius. So dynamic control, revealing hidden truths, because Pluto in that sun, we're going to have some truths come out, endings and beginnings, deep psychology insight, structural changes in society. It's going to go out in a bang. Okay, Pluto and government, because Capricorn represents government. I'll be getting more into that, but just so you know, that's what that Cazimi welcomes in the beginning of the year. On the 27th, Mars is conjunct Pluto, so we have intense energy, desire for transformation. We have some power struggles going on with that. Maybe some technical advancements, because we're dealing with Aquarius energy. Mars is going to conjunct Pluto February 13th. And intense drive and ambition, transformation actions, power dynamics, resilience and endurance, focus, energy, and precision. Again, Aquarius and transformation in Aquarius and the drive and what's hidden. So maybe some psychological exploration and achieving those things. Pluto is linked to psychological realm, and conjunction may prompt a deeper exploration in one's psyche. Ooh, I kind of like that one. So let's see how that a strategic and tactical approach, because Mars conjunct Pluto encourages strategic thinking and tactical approaches and things. So not that bad. Okay, we'll see how that goes, especially with that strong Aquarius energy. February 19th, lunar node is going to conjunct Chiron. Now, the lunar node, the north node is about what we need to achieve in this lifetime. It's going to be adjacent and connected to Chiron, which is the healer planet. They're both going to be in a sign Aries. So Aries is about the self. So healing through independence, courage to facing your wounds, because Aries likes to be courageous, self-expression and identity, initiating healing actions. So get ready for that. Chiron is going to conjunct the north node. Did I say that one already? Yes, I already said that one. Okay, learning through action too. We get with that. February 20th, 28th, we have a Saturn Cazimi. Wow. And also it's going to be conjunct Mercury. They're all going to be together and hugging, and it's going to be in 9 degrees. And Saturn is going to be in Pisces. Well, it's in Pisces. So a focus on integrity, modesty. With that Mercury, enhanced communication, creative expression. Pisces is very intuitive. So we have the intellect and intuition and mental focus with intuition. Okay, discipline and imagination, spiritual discipline, boundaries in the realm of the subconscious, practical idealism, and responsibility in the arts. Very positive. Love that. That's a big one. That's a great time to get a tarot reading too, by the way. Anything spiritual, get done that day. March 9th, Mars is going to square Uranus, and Mars is in Aquarius. Uranus will be in the sign Taurus. So there's rebellious energy that day, impulsive actions, conflict and tension. Do not go anywhere that's unsafe. March 9th. Okay. Chiron is going to be in a Cazimi in the sign Aries. Again, in the self and healing of the self. That's going to be brought to light because that sun is going to make it bigger than ever. So energetic healing practices, healing through individual expression, empowered self-identity. Again, a lot of Aries, a lot of self energy. Mars is going to conjunct Saturn in a sign Pisces. So disciplined action, structured creativity. That's going to happen April 10th. Focused spirituality and charitable actions. Okay, activities. Now, April 20th, we have Jupiter is going to conjunct Uranus in a sign Taurus. And with that, we're going to have shifts in values and beliefs about security. Taurus is about the money, okay, and the banks. Jupiter is going to still be in a sign Taurus. So disruptions in traditional values can happen because Uranus is unexpected. Changes in agriculture, innovations in finances and resources, okay? We'll see how that happens with that one currency thing around April. When is that? Yes, April. So May 18th, Jupiter is going to be in a Cazimi in a sign Taurus. Again, all that about banks and money and stability and abundance and being grounded in optimism. Very positive, value-based growth, earthly pleasures and enjoyment, philosophy of practicality. So you have that groundedness with abundance and money, gold, banks, values. All that is going to shine a light that day. Mars is going to conjunct the North Node in the sign Aries, May 19th. Again, the self, okay? Assertive life path, courageous pursuits, initiating new beginnings because Aries is about starting something new, overcoming challenges through action, leadership, and independence, okay? May 23rd, Jupiter is going to sextile Neptune. So we have inspiration and creativity, spiritual growth, optimistic vision, positive imagination, and seeking higher meaning that day. Venus conjunct Jupiter, May 23rd, in a sign Taurus. And very, again, money, aesthetic appreciation, cultivating relationships, social and grace and charm, generosity, maybe philanthropy, energy, financial opportunities. Get your coin that day, okay? Now, Mars, May 29th, Mars is going to conjunct Chiron in Aries. A lot of healing of self. A lot of healing of the self is happening this 2024. Self-discovery, identity healing, balancing assertion and sensitivity, healing the warrior spirit, overcoming fear and confrontation. June 2nd, Jupiter in the sign Gemini is going to trine Pluto in Aquarius. Air, okay? Intellectual energy, communication, positive transformation through knowledge, strategic thinking and planning, being very open-minded, moving fast, communicating, socializing. Huge that day. Venus is going to be in a Cazimi in a sign Gemini, June 4th. So all this energy of Venus in Gemini is going to be amplified. So amplifying anything dealing with love, beauty, harmony, and aesthetics with the energy of Gemini. So communicating. Social media may be huge. Okay. Favorable treatments. Beauty treatments, okay? Enhanced social charm, financial and material matters because Venus governs financial and material possessions. And if you are discussing them, emailing them, any type of that transaction is great. Mars squares Pluto. Mars is going to be in Taurus. Pluto is going to be in a sign Aquarius. That's June 11th. Power struggles, intense ambitions, forceful energy. Be careful that day. Sexual intensities, psychological depth, deepness too. July 15th, Mars is going to conjunct Uranus in the sign Taurus. Unpredictable energy bursts. A lot of money, a lot of banks, a lot of financial, traditional things. Rebellion against tradition could be a thing. Be aware of that, okay? A lot of Taurus and Gemini energy. Taurus, Gemini, Aquarius. This is what I see a lot of. Mars is going to conjunct Jupiter in a sign Gemini. Speaking of Gemini, and then very energetic energy that day. That's going to be August 14th. Bold initiatives and action, intellectual pursuits, very physical energy dealing with that Gemini and Mars, and especially when it comes to communication. Mars in Gemini is going to square Saturn in Pisces. Conflict between action and restraint, frustrations and obstacles. because Mars in Gemini doesn't want any, it wants to be free. And Saturn in Pisces is like, well, you know, there's this invisible boundary here and you cannot cross it. And you, matter of fact, you can't even see it. There's some fogginess there. So conflict with authority, strategic planning needs to be done that day. Resilience and determination, while challenges may arise, you know, you do have that square. Square is going to teach some lessons. Okay. August 19th, Jupiter is going to square Saturn. Jupiter is in sign Gemini, Saturn is in Pisces. Conflict between optimism and realism, challenges in planning, struggle for independence and authority. Okay, struggles with higher learning. You get with that. Mars squares Neptune, September 2nd. Confusion, energies being drained, idealism versus realism, avoidance of confrontation. So, yes, potential for misdirected energy, because we're done with that Mars, okay? Mars in Gemini, I have a Mars in Gemini, and I'll tell you right now, boy, I think I could do it all. And if I think I can do it all, and then Pisces and my intuition is not connecting, it's just an interesting day. That's all I got to say. Venus is going to conjunct the South Node in sign Libra, and that's September 3rd. So past relationship patterns, karmic connections, revisiting some relationship themes in the past is all going to come up with that day. Healing through old wounds too. Venus is going to trine Jupiter. Venus is going to be in a sign Libra. Jupiter, again, in Gemini. September 14th. Very harmonious when it comes to relationships and being very optimistic. It's a great day to get out, have fun, and socialize. And Mars in the sign Cancer is going to be opposing Pluto in the sign Capricorn November 3rd. Mars, Pluto, no bueno. War, power struggles, intense emotions, struggles for control. Okay? Be aware of that. Facing some hidden motives too could be happening. Venus is going to be in the sign Sagittarius, going to be opposing Jupiter in the sign Gemini. And when you have that overindulgence, especially overindulgence, because Venus in Sagittarius does too much buying. Okay. I have personal experience in that. It just buy. I want this. 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 Be aware of that. And then it's opposing Jupiter in Gemini. Jupiter is very abundant and is communicating it. Okay. Philosophical and intellectual connections may be a big thing, but overindulgence and excess. Be careful that day, okay? That's the last aspect because, well, we have December, Christmas Eve. We have Jupiter squaring Saturn, which I mentioned earlier. That's what was going to shut it down at the end of the year. But that is what we have in a nutshell for 2024. Again, I do go over all this in detail weekly, so please go ahead and check out my weekly videos. And until then, I will see you guys next time. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.